to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim, and this is my podcast all about knitting and spinning and dyeing of yarn, all of which I do from my home right outside of Lima, Ohio. This is where I live with my sweet, dear, handsome husband, Randy, my kitty cat, Ginger, and my puppy dog. My kitty cat, Purdy, and my puppy dog, Ginger. Oh my goodness, I got them mixed up. They would not like that. Guess what? I have a voice. So I decided, I don't know how it will be later on. So let's do the podcast now. Okay, today is February 19th, and this is episode number 154. You can find me online on Ravelry as Naturally Kim's Knitting Podcast Group and NapiersKnits. You can also find me on Etsy, where I have a store called NapiersKnits. Instagram, I'm knitting_Kim. And on YouTube, Blogger, and WordPress, I'm Naturally Kim's Knitting. Whew! We have a couple new friends that have joined us this week. I am so glad that you found us. I'm going to mess up a name drastically, and I apologize. Pannouschka, is that close? From Hungary, and TheKarrianne from Ohio. Welcome. Love you all. Okay. I think that's all for the introduction and for the all that stuff. I'm blanking out. That's because I'm feeling so good. Okay, we have a couple knit-alongs going on right now. The first one that I mentioned is our finished object one, which we do every month. I started over on the first day of the month, and it goes through the end of the month, and then I lock it off on the first of the next month and draw winners. And all you need to do, besides be a member of Naturally Kim's Knitting Podcast Group, is take a picture of your finished object, put it in the thread, put your pattern name, we're somewhere, and you are in for the next drawing. I do have a pattern that is donated, or Fizzona, who is donating a pattern in honor of her birthday, and it will be any pattern from your wish list. How about that? Okay, let's see. Oh, then I forgot. Then our other knit-along is our sweater knit-along, and it's a 3-month knit-along, and it's going till the end of April. Now, you cannot have started your sweater before February 1st. And as long as you have shown progress on it, I would like to have them finished by April 30th, but I do realize some sweaters take a while, like mine. I will share with you with that in a minute. So it ends on April 30th, the day after my hubby's birthday. And, oh, I'm sorry, I had my prizes mixed up. For the finished object knit-along, it will be patterns for up to $5 that are giftable from Ravelry. Then for the sweater knit-along, Fizzona is gifting one prize in honor of her birthday this month. And it's one pattern from your wish list. I should have looked at my notes. I knew this. Okay, I have lots of fun knit-along things that we're going to be doing, but if you have other eyes, my tongue is going faster than my mind is going faster than my tongue, whichever. Anyways, if you have any other ideas for craft-alongs, just put them at the end of the show notes, or if you want to dig through and find the thread, you can do that. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. Do I have things to share today? Yes, I do. I even have a little grandchildren news. I'll save it to the end, but you know. Here, sorry about the sun. This is my daughter's afghan. I've got a little bit more done on it. I don't know if you can see it. I may just have to bring it over to me. I have a sun issue, you can tell. But I've not worked as many squares as I wanted to because we had to do an emergency yarn order with my husband's permission. This was not me buying it, but it was strictly for the afghan. I needed more of this color. So I asked my hubby, can I order it for Molly's afghan? And he said yes. So, you know, this afghan's shaping up. The reason why I put it on the back of that chair is because it is rather big. But that's okay. Excited about that. Then I would show you my throwback sweater. Oh, I have had issues with it. First time I knit it, no issues whatsoever. It came out beautiful. This time the color work keeps throwing me off. And I'm to a point where I'm sitting there thinking, will anybody notice this couple of mistakes in here? I'll know it's there. I have to decide because I do not like ripping out color work. I've already done it once. So I do not have it to show you right now. There's too many yarns hanging from it right now. Sorry about that. But I do have socks to show you. I thought I was going to get this pair done last night. I really, really did. I've been working on my sweater, and then at a certain time in the evening, I stop working on my sweater, and I pick up socks. Well, I haven't picked this one up because I keep thinking I'm going to go to church. And these are my church knitting socks. Well, last week, if I were to go, I said, oh, I would hated to go and have Pastor Brian's wonderful sermons be interrupted by because I sounded like that, only worse. And I didn't want to do that to him. So I stayed home. I said, I really don't like staying home from church. But because of that, I put this on the back burner. But then last night I thought, oh, let's work on it. So this is one of my soup kitchen socks, of course, with my little ribbed heel. And I am on the ribbing at the top on both of them. And I turned on a video of Downton Abbey, and I was working away, but, you know, eventually I had to say, okay, time to go to bed. So, sorry. This thread is very slippery, and it comes off the needles. So, yeah, these are the, I did it again. Jewel. They're probably Jewel. But anyways, yes. Ta-da! Soup kitchen socks. I do like soup kitchen socks. I'm sorry. I'm just feeling very, very good. I just realized how close I am to the camera. Sorry, you're having to put up with some close-ups today. Oh, no. Did this earlier this week. I need to take some things out of this bag. Now, I'm not ready to show you the front of these socks. I have worked on them a little bit, but this is some yarn that I did myself, merino nylon blend. And it makes a very pretty sock. Are they the same? I try to stop about the same place on socks, but this is going to be my next pattern. And I think I have a name for it, but I'm going to wait. Because I like this very much. And it's going to be for the soup kitchen. I suppose what I could do is make it a prize. I could do that. But, so anyways, pair of socks. Either for the soup kitchen or I could make it a prize. I'll have to think about that. So, that's 2 socks down. An afghan down. A sweater I'm not showing. And of course, my 3rd pair of socks. These are ready for the heels. And I just have to have a time where I could sit down and think heels. These are by Hypothesis yarn. Give you the name, give you the card. These are for the spouse of the John Deere socks. Hypothesis yarn. They're dyed in Newfoundland. An 80-20 super merino, superwash merino nylon yarn. And this is Spectral Alphabet. Found the shop on Etsy. Oops. And this lady gave me her favorite colors, and they are all in these socks. Ta-da! So I'll be getting ready for the heel whenever I feel like I can sit down without interrupted time. I hate being interrupted in the middle of a heel, which makes it difficult sometimes. There are certain things I will be gladly interrupted from a heel for, and one is, you know, if my grandkids Skype me. Oh, then I forgot. I started another chemo cap. So I think it's about the same place the one last week was. If you remember, this was the yarn that I made the Wonder Shawl from, out for Mila's knit. Well, I'm just finishing up the skein, and after I finish the last hat, I'm thinking I have enough for another one. So I have just finished the ribbing and just starting the body of the hat. So it's just where the color changes on the yarn, and that's the last color change. So I hope I do have enough for a hat. And I finished a hat. I don't know where I put it. I always try to gather my things together, and they get put in this chair right here. And I thought I gathered up that hat. I don't know what happened to it, but it was the finishing of the hat that I showed you last week. I know I didn't give it because I just saw it this morning. That's irritating. Then let's see what else. Oh, just a minute. I have to show you this. This I knew I didn't bring over, but first I did, while I was up, I thought, why not pick up that hat? Ta-da, da-da, 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 da. Okay, so this is, I want to make sure I get it all right. This is from the Sock Yarn Shawl book that I have. This is the Timpani shawl, and this is my snow-dyed yarn from Sock Yarn Shawls. This is the snow-dyed yarn I did this year on some merino nylon stellina yarn. And it's just it's just grape Kool-Aid that I snow-dyed on this yarn. I haven't blocked it yet, and you can tell I did not tuck the end in or weave the end in yet. But isn't that gorgeous? I should have wore it today. There we go. That's pretty good. Oh, it's amazing. You put something around your neck and you do feel a little bit warmer. At least I do. I have noticed that. I've been wearing my shawls and everything a lot this year. Okay, so that's all my finished objects. I do want to remind you my racing stripe socks, which I don't have to show you because I gave them to my father-in-law, who they belong to. That pattern is for sale on Ravelry. It's not free anymore. It's $2.50. I try to keep the pattern cost down because I know sock yarn is not cheap. And whereby when we make socks are usually a work of love, either for ourselves or somebody else, that's a lot of money to put into a pair of socks. So I'm thinking, why price my sock pattern so high that nobody can enjoy them? So anyways, okay. Now we had a question this week, and I say we because I don't really have an answer. So if you have an answer to this or a suggestion, just put it in the show notes. This is a lady who is making a vest for her husband because the vest she made him previously is wearing out. So she said she had enough Heartland in a tweedy teal to make a sweater, but wonder if it will hold up as well as the impeccable ombre that she used in the original sweater. So put your thoughts down. If you've worked with these yarns, which I have not, if you've worked with these yarns, or if you have a suggestion for a different yarn, go ahead and put it under the show note. No. Yeah, just put it under the show notes or in the sweater chat. Okay? Okay, fun stuff. Well, Knit still has gloss yarn on sale, 20% off. My resolutions, I now have 20 chemo caps done. Thank you very much. And another fun thing. So, you know, I've been doing a ladies' Bible study at my church, or with women from my church. And last year we just kind of brought in projects and did whatever projects we wanted to each week. Well, this year we decided to name ourselves and give ourselves a focus. So we are now the Crossroads Crafty Card Gals. And whenever we meet, which is every other week when we can, we couldn't last week, we work on cards that we can give to others who are in need. Well, I got online to look up some card making supplies, and I found this. I actually bought 2 boxes of this by accident, but it says colorful messages to bless the heart, soothe the soul, and calm the mind. And of course, I brought over the ones that I didn't have opened. But to give you an idea, you know, I love coloring. This is the first card. Some of them have Bible verses on them, whatever, but they all have pretty things to color. And I love coloring. So I'm figuring, we were hoping each woman would have 10 cards in stock to hand out whenever it's needed. So this is my way of getting 10 cards easily. Well, not easily, but because I do take my time on them, but to get 10 cards that I have totally created, because I do have trouble sometimes with cutting or doing things with fine motor skills, and some of the card making things that they do, I have difficulties doing. Coloring, however, is almost a balm for my soul. It just makes me feel good. Now, since this is the fun section of our podcast, I have something to show you. And it's grandchild related. My dear Genevieve, with the princess name, Genevieve Fiona, she goes to an art class every Saturday. And this last Saturday, she dressed up in her purple princess dress. And she made, I'll try to get this so it doesn't glare so much, that beautiful bouquet of flowers. They do that at Michael's, and I just think that is such a great thing. Now, this next thing I have to show you is my grandson, and yes, he is so cute. He's three years old, and he's really discovering, mud puddles. So I'm sorry, you have to put up with a 30-second video because I just love this. Oops, sorry. Got a lot of reflection on there, I apologize. That is my lovely grandson, Tobias. I was so happy my daughter put that. We use Google Drive to keep up to date with their pictures. And I just, whenever I see a picture or a video of the kids, my heart just swells. So if you're a grandparent, or even if you're a parent, or you have a child in your relationship or life, you can appreciate the cuteness in kids sometimes. Okay, what I've been reading, watching, and listening to. I did 2 book reviews this week. One of them I do not have because it's back. We use it for devotions. I don't know what happened there. But the other one is The Way of the Warrior. And oh my goodness, can I tell you how much I enjoyed this? Enjoyed may not be the right word, but it enriched me. When I first saw it, and I saw warrior in the title, I thought, oh, not gonna like this. But it's all about how a person really can't experience the peace of God in their life unless they've experienced war within them. And then you overcome that, and peace takes its place. And it's just wonderful. I mean, it talks about the warrior owns defeat. The warrior gains mastery over their mind. The warrior stands in their pain. I mean, it is excellent. It is an uncorrected proof. So it is for sale, though. I think it's already out. I'm in the process of reading another one which has been released, but I'll share that with you when I finish it. Yes, this started on sale February 26th, 2019. And it's published by Waterbrook. I was going to say manufactured, and I couldn't get that word out of my mind. Okay. I have something else to share. You know, I thought this was going to be, I always think they're going to be extremely short. And they're not. So, my dear friend Haley, who is in middle school, I'm going to say the wrong grade. I know I will. Her father, who is our minister of music at our church, he told me around Christmas that, well, she has something for you. Sitting there going, oh my goodness. Because I have helped Haley learn how to knit. And Haley comes to our women's group, which is just fantastic. I love having her there. And she is just such a cool person, as is her sister Bethany. And her mom and her dad. But you know, the kids, I just love them. And the two girls are just so different. But anyways, this is from Haley. She bought me this book, Animal Knits for Kids. And if you don't have this book, it's 30 animal wearables and toys. And I'm always looking for animal toys. I'm sorry, I hadn't seen this page. But it starts off with safari adventures. And look at those leggings. Aren't they cute? Well, they call them trousers, but you know. Then they have an adventurer's jacket. Just love these. And even if they're the wrong size for my grandkids, some of them are, some of them aren't. I know other kids who will wear them. Then they have, of course, you need desert boots if you're going on an adventure. So cool, so cool. Oh, of course, you need your safari satchel. What kind of adventurer would go on an adventure without their satchel? Then we go into the jungle. And we start off with a monkey and a hippo rattle. And I'll bring it back here because the hippo rattles on the other page. And of course, a tiger onesie. I just love the little ears too. Oh, of course, tiger striped socks. You gotta have that with them. And then they have an elephant hat. I love the little trunk. Sorry, the little trunk. Yes, I get tickled by this because I see so much potential. Then they have rhino boots, which have a little horn on them. I know kids that will just enjoy that so much. Oh, and then we're going the reptile house. So we have a snake scarf. It reminds me once when I couldn't go to the county fair one year, and I was sick. And I was miserable because I wanted to go. And my oldest brother brought me home a snake he had won at the fair. But look at all the pretty colors. That could just be a stash buster, you know? Then you have snake mittens. Oh, and a swirly snake toy. That would be fun to make too. And you could make it many different colors. Crocodile leg warmers. A crocodile stole. I love this book. I'm sorry, but I do. Tortoise storage baskets. Look at those. Aren't they cute? Oh, I didn't even see this. Look at that. have lids and everything. I know what that is, but it's a frog hat. Ribbit, which is something I would hope I wouldn't do with it very much. Arctic headbands. They have 3 different ones. You have a polar bear, wolf ears, and Arctic hare ears. Polar bear paw print shoes and mittens. I'm sorry, I keep making that face after everyone. Penguin baby bottle carrier and toy. I don't always show you every pattern in a book, but I don't have any that I don't want to show. Penguin mittens. You know, I just keep thinking, my granddaughter one year asked me for mittens in California. And I made them for her. And I made her a scarf, and I made her a hat, and of course the mittens. And she went to the library. It wasn't a cold day because she wasn't wearing a coat, but she had her hat, her hat, her scarf, and her mittens on in California. Now we're going to the tropical seas. An under the sea bib. This is such a cute book. Haley, I thank you. I know you probably don't watch this because, you know, you're a kid. But tropical fish toys. Sea turtle coasters. Everybody needs more coasters. Tropical waves baby blanket. I don't make a whole bunch of baby blankets. When my daughter had kids, she told me she didn't need any baby blankets. And I made one, and she didn't want any more. So I just don't make them for people because I decided they probably get enough of them. A shark body warmer. Oh, that's so cute. Now we're going to the forest. The forest. And I love this. It's a fox bib. I love foxes, though. See, you may not have known that. I love the color purple, and I love foxes. An owl pillow. That'd be good for a kid of any age. Reindeer antler hat. I see that as a potential for a Christmas gift next year for each child. Robin mittens, which actually are convertible. That would be good for my grandkids, seeing as how it's warm there. And they have a button on the back so that you can hold the robin's head back when, you know, they want fingerless mitts. I love this too. An owl sweater, a toy, and a scarf. Oh, man, oh man. And they do have each pattern rated. Then, of course, in the back, they have the knitting tutorials and, let's see. I'm sorry, I get stuck looking at things. That's so cute. And a reference chart as far as measurements of the child and the age that it possibly goes with. Abbreviations and yarn brand details. So, animal knits for kids. Isn't that cute? Thank you, Haley. You are such a sweetie. If I wouldn't have reviewed that book, this would have been a lot shorter. I'm sorry. Now, I do still have yarn for sale on my Etsy store, and like I mention every week, if you do not have an Etsy account, notify me, contact me on Ravelry or at the end of the show notes, preferably on Ravelry if you could PM me, and we can work out postage and all that stuff. Anyways, if you don't want to do it through Etsy. Anyways, I think that's it, people. That sounded rude. I think that's it, friends. There we go. I'm so glad to have my voice back. It makes me giddy. I hope all of you have a wonderful week. I hope any project you're working on is successful. And if you make mistakes, I hope they're little ones and that you don't have to rip and rip and rip like I did last week. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching, and big, big hugs. I'll talk to you next week, hopefully. Bye-bye.